Hey, what's up guys? I just want to do a quick video for you. This isn't financial advice, but I want to kind of show you some graphs on why it might actually be a really good time for you to invest in Bitcoin or Ethereum. So if you look at today, Bitcoin was at 31,000. You had a major slide sell-off, and it's bringing it back to high 29,000, right? So that don't look good. So you look at 1 week, you go from 33,000 to the point now we're at 29,000. So that's incentive for a lot of people to panic and sell, especially if they bought Bitcoin at the 30,000, 35,000 mark. They're like, well, I'm going to get some of my cash back. You look at 1 month, and we actually dumped really bad right here. This was, I mean, that's a wick. But you could see that if you bought Bitcoin anytime this month, you're probably pissed off right now because you either lost money or, best case scenario, you're breaking even. So now we look at a year though. When you really zoom out and when you're looking at stuff like this, you could see that if you bought Bitcoin at any time before January 1st, let's say before Christmas, if you bought Bitcoin any time before Christmas, you're still up. So now trading sideways like this is a lot of incentive for people to sell and to buy. If you buy right now, yeah, there's a chance you're going to lose money. But a lot of people, when they started hearing, oh, Bitcoin's smashing it, they started buying. Myself included, they started buying. So they bought. Now, a lot of people bought about right here, about 55 to 65,000, whatever it was. And there is a lot of fear coming out through the media, and it's making a lot of people panic sell. You can see May 13th, it actually crashed pretty freaking hard for a long time. And we're still going down, we're still going down, we're still going down. So a lot of people are like, you know, Bitcoin's over, I'm done with it. I'm going to get at least some of my money out. Because if you were up here and you're selling here, you're losing half, right? Even if you're right here and you're selling here, you're still losing like 20%, right? However, if you were to be playing a longer game and you bought any time before Christmas, you would be up, or worst case scenario, you would be even. So Bitcoin isn't something like a get rich quick scheme, obviously, unless you were smart enough to put, buy one Bitcoin, last September and sell it somewhere in April. Okay, so now we go back to 1 day. Looks terrible. 1 week looks awful. 1 month, you go, what the hell am I thinking? 1 year, you go, okay, but still, we might be at the point where it's time to get out. But look at all time. Let's look at an all-time chart, right? So if you look about where we're at right now in this huge peak, and then it just dumped, right? This is actually the same, very similar pattern as right here, where you could have bought in at 4,000 and sold it at 16,000 and quadrupled your money. And then you could see after that it dumped another little peak, and then it dumped. Okay, and then this period right here is called a capitulation period. Now, in my mind, just like from visually looking at it, we're moving through this area right here. You can see where it goes from 6,000 and dumps back down to about 3,500. Now, that's only a 50% loss, right? So if we're talking, what are we talking? We're talking like 12,000 down to 6,000 down to 3,000. Now, if we're going through the same kind of time frame, which I feel like we are, a lot of people are like, oh shit, good time to get out. Oh shit, good time to get out. Good time to get out. And then a lot of people get sick of going, oh, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. So they stop buying, and what happens is people don't do shit about it for a while. And then you have this period here, which is essentially a capitulation period or an accumulation period, where the people who are thinking the longer game are buying it even as it's going down. They're buying it, right? And then what happens? We fly from 3,500, we fly right back up to about 12,000, which would have been a good time for some people to get out of Bitcoin, which you can see they did as it goes down, right? And then some people buy the dip, right? And then what happens? We go from 6,000 all the way to 60,000. Okay, so if you're looking right here, we go from 1,000 all the way up to 14,000. So that's a 14x gain, right? You go from 6,000 to 60,000 is a 10x gain. If you look at right here, going from 38,000, or I'm sorry, 3,500 up to 12,000. All right, so what I'm saying is 80% of the time throughout Bitcoin history and throughout Ethereum history, if you were to buy and you were to hold for at least 4 years, you would have made money. Like 70% of the time, if you were to buy and you were to hold for at least a year, you would have made money. When you buy something, when it's really expensive like this, when you sell it, you lose money. You don't lose money until you sell it for less than what you paid for it. So what if you bought it right here for $59,000? I actually bought a little bit of that, and I'm going to hold it because what's going to happen? You get pissed off that you bought it right here for what, $14,000, then all your friends make you scared and you sell it all. Well, dude, okay, if we look back at 2017, even if you bought it for $14,000, if you were to hold it for 4 years, okay, you would have 4x'd your money. You would have turned $14,000 into $59,000. So, and it's not just Bitcoin. Like, Bitcoin's something you probably should look into. It's, in my opinion, a smart investment. Oh my gosh. In my opinion, a faster phone is a smart investment for this too. Okay, so you look at Ethereum. You might have had one Ethereum and you had $1,800 yesterday, and now you're PO'd because at one point you had $1,700, so you just got robbed. You look at 1 week, you go, ah, shit, dude, I lost $300. You look at 1 month, you go, ah, damn, dude, I'm down $600-700. You look at 1 year. If your perspective, if your point of entry was here, then yeah, you're down 50% or more. Okay, but if your point of entry was here, then you're up 10x. So you really got to shift your thinking from a 1 day thinking, a 1 week thinking, and I'm telling this to myself too, honestly, to a 1 year or all time thinking. Because once again, these charts are very similar. You look at a 1 year and you might have got in around here, and you're blessed if you did because that's still about where we're at. But you could see that we exploded and then we're dumping down, right? So everyone's like, time to get out, at least save some of my assets. You look at all time, you could see it does the same exact crap that Bitcoin did, right? You had a point where could have bought it at $300, it freaking exploded, right? Up to like $1,200, which is like a 4x, and then it dumped back down. And where'd we go? We went back at one point to about 300, but people were smart enough to buy that again and get it to about 750. And then you can see we dumped again, traded way sideways, so a lot of people were pissed off. But look, like, what are we about to do? What do you guys think we're about to do? Like, to me, it looks like we're going up at least one more time. And then even if we start trading sideways, like this, where it's 200, 300 bucks, what were we doing before that? We were trading at 14, 13 bucks, right? So we have this pump, and then it gets a lot of support here, which is 10x the number that it was before that. So even if we go up and we dump back down, we're gonna have a support level, in my mind at least like a $1,200, $1,300 support level. I think if Ethereum goes below that, there's major problems with more than just cryptocurrency. But yeah, so anyway, I just want to make this so you guys could freaking hold the line, because literally, like, we're trading sideways. Like, that's great. Like, if you average all of this and we're trading sideways for this long, like, that's pretty fantastic. Like, that's like your dollar still being worth $1 for 30 days. Like, that's a good sign, because you look at all time, when you're trading sideways for a while, the next thing that typically happens is you shoot way up. Right? Trading sideways for a while. What's going to happen? Shoot way up. So, like I said, this might be a really good time to get into some of these investments like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano. Even though you look at 1 day, you're like, oh my God, losing all this money or whatever. 1 week is terrible. 1 month is horrible, You look at 1 year and you're like, okay, so the trend is from like February, March, April, May, June, July. So for 6 months, we're trading essentially sideways. Like, Cardano's been around $1.10, $1.40, and then $1.12. Like, we're trading sideways, which is a good sign, because what happens, once again, Cardano's not as old, but you can see, trade sideways, shoot way up, right? People lose interest, and news tells them Bitcoin's going to kill them. The news tells them it's worthless, right? And so we trade sideways for a while, and what happens is a lot of billionaires decide to buy it all up. And then the news says, oh, wow, Bitcoin's going up, right? So then everyone else buys it, right? Woo! And then what happens is all those billionaires, they just double their money, so they sell it, and now we're going to be trading sideways, right? But we're going to be trading sideways in a pretty healthy way, okay? Because as you can see, once again, sideways blows way up, right? Blows way up, right? And so, dude, even if this, you gotta think, even if you bought, you know, when it was way high and you already are down 50% and it goes down another 50%, which is probably worst case scenario besides it going to zero, like, where are you going to be? Where are you going to be? You're going to be trading sideways for a little while at what, 15,000? Right? What happened last time we were trading sideways at about 15,000? Okay, so it went from what? Let's just say it went from 10, 11,000. What happened? It went back up to, you know, at least 40. So, dude, just don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. And in my opinion, if you don't have any money in any kind of crypto assets, this is probably the best time / the last chance you're going to get for these 4-year cycles to jump in. I don't know. You guys tell me. Let me know below. Am I totally wrong? Am I totally right? Do you agree? Do you disagree? I'd like to hear your opinion. Thank you.